Thank you for being here today. The time being exactly 9 a.m., possibly 9:01. I would like to start the Energy and Environmental Committee meeting. My name is Mavis Bates, and today is September 17th. And clerk, please call the roll.
Wojnicki,
Present.
Allen,
Allen, present. Good.
Caius,
Molina present.
Strathman,
Strathman here.
Wallace,
Wallace here.
Pirog, Shepro, Bates.
Thank you.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. May I have an approval of the minutes for August 13th and September 1st?
Wojnicki moves.
Caius,
Allen,
Is there any discussion, Mr. Kais?
did you get a second on that? I'm not sure.
I think it was Allen, I think.
it can be.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Did you have a discussion?
You're welcome to it. Discussion, yes. In the September 1st minutes of September 1st, it was noted that the August 13 minutes would be deferred, and in the printed minutes, it says that we voted on it, but it was by the pleasure of the chair. She just, so just to note that it wasn't voted on.
There's no vote.
Completely legal, but
Thank you. Any other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll. Take your time.
Sorry.
A lot of paper clips.
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Wallace,
Wallace, yes.
Wojnicki,
Yes.
Bates.
Bates, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any public comment for today? Online or in person? Very quiet here today.
It is.
May I call on Ms. Walnick for the September watershed report? Walnick and Wojnicki, you guys get me mixed up.
Our names are just so close. We had a lot of activities over the last 2 months in the watershed planning section. And so I have a detailed report in your packets, but I will go through the highlights. The Fox River Study Group is in the final stages of negotiating a contract with Geosyntech Consultants to draft the Fox River Implementation Plan. This plan will become the guiding document that stakeholders in the Fox River watershed will use for making management decisions about the activities that impact the Fox River's water quality. The study group also continues to collect monthly samples at 7 sites on the Fox River and 7 tributaries that drain into the Fox River. On those same sample dates, our staff is continuing to collect samples in the upper watershed in our rural sections of Kane County. So all of our data will coexist with each other. In addition to that, the Fox River Study Group is continuing its efforts to monitor the biological and water quality issues at the Carpenter's Dam before its removal. The Fox River Study Group is also contracting with the Illinois Natural History Survey to conduct a biological survey of the mussels above and below the dam before the dam is removed. And there will be additional information available next summer with the Forest Preserve as they plan to remove that dam next fall. The Indian Creek watershed study continues to move forward. The data portion of the project is complete, and water quality modeling of the proposed best management practices is being completed this summer, so that should be available soon, along with field investigations and inventories of the stream channel. So we provided the link online for the draft plan. A lot of things going on in the Tyler Creek watershed. They're currently working with CMAP to secure funding through the IUPA for an update to their watershed plan. They are looking to do additional watershed modeling, utilizing the staff and assistance of the Fox River Study Group. Our staff also coordinated with the Village of Pingree Grove to host a water tour at the village's wastewater treatment plant on July 21st. The village's Public Works Director, Pat Doherty, served as the host and provided an excellent tour and overview of how the village wastewater is treated and utilizes spray irrigation during the warm summer months and it minimizes the discharges to Tyler Creek. The Watershed Coalition is continuing to work with the city of Elgin to execute a plan to remove an online dam on Sandy Creek that has silted in behind it. And that is located just upstream of Highland Avenue near the Lincolnwood Terrace subdivision. So there are a lot of stuff going on in the Tyler Creek watershed this past couple months. An item of note, we will be going into more detail. We'll have Rob Linke of our staff at Development Committee next Tuesday regarding changes to wetland regulations and how that's going to potentially impact some of our developments. Many times when a development comes in and there's potential wetlands on the site, they need to obtain a jurisdictional determination. A lot of times we just call it a JD. That's obtained from the Chicago District of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. They've stopped issuing those. And so if there's questions as to whether the wetland on the property is Army Corps jurisdictional or jurisdictional under our Kane County Stormwater Ordinance, that potentially could delay the development. So Rob Linke will be talking about that in a lot more detail next Tuesday at Development. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wolnick.
Madam Chair, question?
Yes, Ms. Jones.
Where is Indian Creek? I don't know where that is.
There's a very small portion that falls into our unincorporated jurisdiction, but it actually starts in Fermilab and it runs on the east side of Aurora.
Oh, okay.
There's many severe flooding issues. Historically, it's been channelized. The water quality is not great because it's all urbanized area. And so we've worked many years with the city of Aurora to try to get some more storage in that area, as well as naturalize the creek again. So I'm sure when this report comes out, it'll be very interesting because there's a lot of work that can be done on that creek.
Thank you.
I have a question, Ms. Wolnick. So all the research or studies that are being done before and after dam removal, is that just to understand the effect of the dams?
That's correct.
So that's going to be very interesting for other dam removal projects, right? to have that.
Yes, to the best of my knowledge, I mean, we did do the Brewster Creek Dam removal many years ago here through the counties under Ken Anderson and with Karen Koski. But I don't believe there was this extensive of a biological and water quality survey done at that time. So the Carpentersville Dam removal has provided us a great opportunity. And with the Fox River Study Group's watershed models, it'll be great input data to better understand if all the dams on the Fox River were removed, what kind of water quality we would be looking at.
That's very exciting.
Exciting.
So, yeah. great
Feels like a
news.
national published paper,
Yeah,
a published paper.
to have all that research. Go ahead.
All right, Madam Chairman, Caius, is Jelke's Creek in that study? You get up that direction?
In which study?
In your overall water study, for the,
I would have to go back.
that's okay.
And there's not currently an active watershed plan with that.
that
There
area.
might be one that's really old, but I can get back. I can look into that and get back to you.
I know there's a small group up there that are.
Yeah, that might be one of the ones that may need some updating because I believe the one we have is quite dated.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Indian Creek is one of the creeks that we usually do cleanups on for Kiwanis cleanup days because it gets very messy.
Nikki here. Is that the one that runs through Sleepy Hollow, Jelke Creek?
Yes,
Okay,
up there on the west side,
okay.
up through that area. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Wolnick. Back to our agenda then.
Madam Chairman, can I charge in?
Alan?
Oh, Ms. Allen, please.
Thanks very much. Three things. One of the nifty things that happened in Batavia was that while we were discussing the cost, et cetera, of removing the dam deteriorated. And so a lot of the concerns I remember of people downstream was that, the creek is gonna rise up and wash away all my plantings and my lawn and so on and so forth. And it didn't work that way at all. It was a very minimal impact. Sometimes there was like a washing away of vegetation along the the edges of the river. And then I believe that they filled in with the stuff that was growing there anyway. So there weren't any major impacts, which was a delight and a surprise for everyone. And so it'll be really interesting to see when we do something on purpose at Carpentersville. I'm sure some of that will be repeated and some of it may be different, and the whole process will be interesting. I believe on Jelke Creek, and Barb, I think you can help with this. The neighbors up there were concerned because there was some lovely little fish that was endangered. And then what happened, I think, was that the owner of a large portion of that property was finally able to reach a price with us so that we bought that. The Forest Preserve bought that. So that it provided a lot of protection for at least that part of Jelke's Creek, which is, I'm going to say the intersection of Sleepy Hollow Road and 72, the south, what would that be, the southeast quadrant? Barb, does that ring some bells for you?
It certainly does. I'm trying to reach into my long-term memory and remember the name of the woman who worked so hard. She was an environmentalist and worked so hard on that. Jody remembers too. And yeah, but you are correct, Deborah.
There was a fella, I'm remembering a gentleman who was had background in the environmental area, and he was instrumental too. Anyway, I will look to see if I can find the documents that they provided, but Jody, I'll bet you money that there's a file cabinet somewhere that has it. So just be on the lookout. My larger philosophical question is this one. We're never going to remove the Algonquin Dam because that protects the chain of lakes. Do we try and keep records of what happens when the dam is open because of like spring flooding, or when they keep as much water as they can in the chain for boating, and so our water level drops south of the dam? Is that data we pay any attention to?
Yeah, we do receive weekly reports from West Couture at IDNR. We have had, I don't know if you remember, Ms. Allen, and Mr. Caius, I believe, was on the Fox River implementation plan group that was going on about 2 years ago. It was pre-COVID. And that question was raised many, many times. And I think it was our own staff that raised it. Why the control of the chain of lakes isn't used more efficiently for flood control. And the response we continued to get from IDNR was that it was not designed that way. So it's still an item of discussion. I think with what I've seen from that plan that came out in the report, that there is maybe some additional discussion that is now going on to operate that more as a level control. And there's a new operator of that dam. So it'll be interesting going forward to kind of see how that plays out and if we can achieve any kind of floodplain and flooding benefits from the chain of lakes up there.
That will be interesting. And here's the cool thing. We're getting more talented people like you. And I think we might be getting a more enlightened umbrella over these processes. So working together, we may get better information and better plans in the future. We can hope for that. Thank you.
Mr. Caius.
Yes, Caius. Yeah, just to confirm, my recollection was there's little or no control because there is no reservoir. They can't, there's houses and things right on the lake. You can't raise it to save water or lower it to do any kind of water control from the chain of lakes. I did, since we're on watersheds and water though, maybe it's appropriate to mention that tomorrow, is it tomorrow's today, Friday? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is the Friends of the Fox, it's our river days. And so there was a great article in the King County Connects the last couple days about where you can volunteer. I know the Forest Preserve was sponsoring one up in the John Doerr Forest Preserve. So if you're looking for something to do to help the river and help the drainage, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., I think Rob Cleve is organizing that one for a cleanup from 9 to noon.
Thank you. Maybe we should have a dams presentation at the E&E meetings.
I could certainly ask Rob Linke to put something together for that.
I'd like that. Wouldn't that be interesting, Madam Chair?
Thank you. I'll be attending the meeting tomorrow morning regarding the removal of the dam in Batavia. They had one virtually this week that I was unable to attend, but they'll have one in person tomorrow. So I want to actually see what the drawings look like. The concern, of course, is the pond. And if the pond is going to drain with the water, because the water is distributed out to that, to the pond. And it's their iconic image. So there's going to be concern from neighbors who are adjacent to the pond that their beautiful pond may be dried up. But that those issues can be addressed separately. But my big concern is with the control of the big dam up in Algonquin, how does it impact the flow of our drinking water as further downstream? So I believe it's Elgin and Aurora actually take water from the Fox for their drinking water. And because the water now is so shallow, and we may be in extended drought period for, we don't know for how long.
100 years.
God forbid. Please, no, not knock on my head with that one. But will it impact the use of the aquifers, the deep aquifers, even more, drawing additional water from there?
No, it actually won't. Just in the manner in which the dam is operated, it really, if there's a low flow, there's a low flow. The dam could only potentially increase that low flow very temporarily, but then you'd lose all the boating up on the chain of lakes. People wouldn't be able to boat up there. So there is a set low water level that they won't go below release wise. And it's just a matter of what's coming in is what's running down the river more. So it's not like the dams out west where you have a huge reservoir of water where you could start releasing more water. The chain of lakes dam isn't really designed that way.
Okay. It's not the Hoover Dam.
Well,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
But you see out west, you see in the fall, you'll see how the banks on those reservoirs out west are huge. You know, they're 50, they drop those things 50 feet. Well, yeah. And above Hoover Dam there, that is down to almost nothing now. They've had to change their docks and stuff. Yeah. Out here, that just goes up minimally.
Okay, I'll just say one thing about the flow of the Fox River. And this is my anecdote about the flow of the Fox River, which is that over the years, the Fox Valley Park District has had the Mid-America canoe and kayak race. And they would always cancel the race if it got above 2,100 because they had 8-year-olds in kayaks. And that was considered a full river, 2,100. Today, right this minute, the river is at 270. So we are at 10% of what a full river would be. So if you want to go kayaking, go to Illinois Avenue in Aurora, because that's the only place you can go kayaking right now, I think. Okay, thank you. This was really interesting. Moving right along, please, to, if I may, to Ms. Jarland.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I have a very short update today, which is firstly, Mill Creek contract was approved by the board. So thank you all for forwarding that through. And I'm really grateful that it went through a little bit earlier than we had originally thought, because that just gives us more time to work on the transition plan, moving from advanced disposal to LRS. And I had my first planning meeting with them yesterday and met the service team and started, working out how the transition will work. So it's a tight window for them to, reach out to all the residents and let them know that their service provider will be changing. The service will stay mostly the same. There will be some added services, and they will be saving money, which is really exciting. But they're going to send out a communication this week to all the residents just to let them know, and also let them know that they have an option to change their bin sizes right now if they want to order a different size at no added cost. If they do it after the cutoff date of October 5th that they want to change their bin sizes, there is a delivery fee. But that's where we're at right now, is just sort of the preliminary planning and the first correspondence with the residents. And then the second item I have to let you know about is the tire recycling event that we do every year that is funded by the Illinois EPA. That is not a public event for tire recycling. It's for our partners in the municipalities, all the public works and the township highway departments, the parks district, anyone who's finding tires dumped somewhere. They can collect them throughout the year and then bring them to this event free of charge for them. So it's a partner benefit for our local government partners. And it's a 2-day event at this point. It used to be just one, but what I do is have them all deliver the tires it's coming on Monday, the 20th. They do the delivery of all the tires and we make a big pile over at the fairgrounds. And then the next day, the contractor who's hired by the IPA will come out and collect all those tires and put them into the trailers and take them away for recycling. So that's all I've got today. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Madam
Care of
Bates?
that. Any questions?
Just a quick question for Jennifer. What day does that start, Jennifer, the tire collection?
So on Monday between between 10 and 12.
Okay.
Yep, 10 a.m. to noon on Monday is when the tires can be dropped off. I've been in touch with all the municipal partners already and gotten their preliminary tire counts. And it looks like we'll have close to 2,000 tires coming in, varying sizes from car tire, truck tire, tractor tires. So it'll be quite a pile.
Okay, and that's at the Kane County Fairgrounds.
Yep, just over behind the, is it Costco there next to it? Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Then I have a question. I know Aurora has a recycling day coming up. Are we participating in that?
We are not, no.
That's all
City
right.
of Aurora runs their own program. Is that for an electronics recycling? I did not know about that one.
10-2 recycling event. That's all I have in my calendar right now, October 2nd.
It's probably an electronics recycling event. They do that a couple of times a year. And that's something that the city supplies the funding for that. And then they usually let their residents come with, up to 2 TVs for free. But you do have
That's a big deal.
Aurora
I'm
resident.
volunteering. I should know more about it. Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions for Ms. Jarlin? I believe we have come to Ms. Ivy Klee, who will do a discussion on the update on the solar panel installation.
Good morning, everyone.
Go
Good
ahead.
morning. Thanks, Chairwoman Bates. I'm just quickly going to give an update on the solar resolution. So as you all know, on Tuesday at the county board meeting, the resolution for the approval of the power purchase agreement and the land lease was approved. So just some next steps on where that resolution is going to go. So we're going to get the power purchase agreement and land lease signed by Madam Chair, I believe next week, and there's going to be a photo opportunity. I believe it's on Wednesday after ARP committee, correct, Mavis?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope everybody knows about that. If not, we will make sure that you all know that I've asked Madam Chair if we could do a little photo op when she signs the power purchase agreement. And so people are helping to make that happen. And that will be Wednesday at approximately 11 o'clock after the ARP meeting at 10 o'clock. So I hope you can all be there to have your picture taken for this momentous occasion. It's kind of like when Barack Obama signed the Affordable Care Act.
Are you going to use several pens?
I would like some yellow pens, please.
Census pins left over, I think.
I thought it'd be fun to get our pictures taken since the E&E committee worked so hard for this. And Ivy and Jody, Ms. Wolnick and Ms. Glee will also be there with Madam Chair for that occasion. Okay, go on, please.
Yes, so, and then in terms of next steps, what will happen next? We're going to be working with the GR&E project team and getting final engineering and drawings and also a finalized landscaping plan with White and Company, the landscaping architects that we've been working with. And then once we have those plans, we're going to come back to E&E committee and present those finalized updates. And we are also planning on having a town hall to share those finalized plans and drawings with the neighbors as well. So that's pretty much the updates on that. Is there anything else? Anything else you want to add, Ms. Wolnick or Chairwoman Bates?
Well, Ms.
No, go
Wojnicki?
ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Madam
you go
Chair.
first.
Just a question for Ivy. I know this is a sensitive subject, but will the neighbors be involved with at all with designing the landscape plan?
Yes, that's an excellent question. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So what we talked about with Patty King, who is the landscaping architect that we're working with from White and Company, she, so both of us are going to plan to go out to the neighbors' homes once we have the final engineering from GR&E. So once we're able to look at what the final engineering drawings and the plan looks like, Patty and I can go to the neighbors, go out on their decks and get a better perspective from their views, from their property lines. So we will both plan to be working with them. I think Patty just wants to make sure that we wait until we have the final engineering because she won't be able to put together a finalized plan with that, and she doesn't want to promise them anything until GR&E has their engineering done. So yes, we will be working with the neighbors and keeping in touch with them and keeping them updated. And we're going to try and work with them on the landscaping plan and figure out what will work for them and then what will also work for the county.
All right. Thank you, Ivy.
As mentioned at the meeting too, Drew Fraz will be coming out with us and his extensive background in construction. He'll be coming out with us to meet with the neighbors as well to work through that final landscaping plan.
And I'd like to be there too. So Drew and I can go.
As long as there's only two of you.
1, 2.
Just two.
Drew and Mavis. Okay, Madam Chair.
It would be nice if we can have a update to the entire Kane County, particularly geared, of course, to our neighbors on Bircher. But just to share with them an update on the status of the solar field, so that it continues. You can start with the photograph, which would be fine, but then we can just do an update as we start getting through the plans. It could be a monthly update or every 6 weeks, but it should be planned out so that it builds up, so that everyone becomes familiar with it, gets some buy-in, always photos included with that. I think it just would be important so that there's conversation, even if it's just conversation about the solar panel, because I believe that was the solar panel that was here and neighbors felt or proximity to what that solar panel is going to look like. And, this is what the solar panel is, and, come touch a solar panel perhaps, just so that people are comfort level is becoming much more familiar with what a solar field looks like, how it operates, to build knowledge.
And I'd like to not use the word final engineering drawings or final landscape drawings before we could call it a preliminary final landscape drawing, because we don't want to go, I don't think we should go to the neighbors and say, this is the final drawing, because that makes it sound like they don't have any input left. So let's call it the preliminary final drawing. So
Working.
that, But just preliminary. Okay.
Final is not a word to use.
Okay. And I think that's an oxymoron, preliminary final. So we want to avoid oxymorons at all times. So preliminary, everything will be preliminary and until we have their input. We go up on their balconies, we get one more update, one more revision using their input.
Oftentimes I use draft.
Pardon me?
Draft.
Draft
And
is a
it's
fine word.
draft is on there instead of even preliminary, draft.
Draft is the word.
Dated or draft as this date, draft of this date,
Mhm.
so that you can keep tags on it anyway as you're going through the process.
Mhm.
And then final draft, always a draft though.
Draft and final draft. Thank you.
Because things may change.
And I'd like to make some comments because the board meeting was very hectic, as we all know, on Tuesday. And I would like to say thank you to every board member who voted for this and to the board members who didn't. But I feel like so much work went into this, the clerical help that we've received, the technical help that we've received, Ivy, Jody. And I want to praise the King County Board for its show of bipartisanship, which we don't find very often in the world these days. But with 21 people voting, we had both sides of the aisle, both sides of the boardroom voting for something that I think is very important. And I also want to thank the neighbors for bringing their concerns to us. I think because of you, we have a better project. I was in Champaign a couple of weeks ago. They have a 20-acre solar field. And I was driving along the backside. It's just the stakes and stuff. And I thought, that solar field needs some screening. They need some trees, that solar field. So thank you to you for your help, your consideration. I hope when this is a completed project, you'll be able to look at that and say, this was a good thing. So those are my comments for today. Okay, resolution, Ms. Ivy Clee.
Yes, so moving on to my next item, I have a resolution for you all today. So I'm going to be presenting a resolution and I would ask for the committee's approval of the fiscal year 22 operations and maintenance agreement for the USGS stream and rainfall gauges. So the appropriation amount for this program is $61,760. So the USGS stream and rainfall gauges is an annual program that the county operates jointly with the USGS, so the United States Geological Survey. And this is just a contract renewal for the fiscal year 22. In 1998, the King County Board adopted the King County Stormwater Management Plan, which protects, identifies, and improves floodplains, waterways, lakes, ponds, and wetlands. And the collection of rainfall and stream flow are essential to flood planning, mitigation activities, as well as improving our water resources and water quality. So this contract that we have with the USGS, we jointly operate and maintain 5 stream gauges and 4 precipitation gauges. That's in the contract, which is attached to the agenda if you want to take a look. So those are jointly operated by state and federal agencies, the United States Geological Survey and the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, as well as King County. So as a part of the joint agreement, we do receive a matching contribution of $23,040. And then we allocate $61,760 of our budget to maintain and operate these gauges. The new contract term is going to be from August 1st, 2021 to September 30th of 2022. And I believe that that is it. So today we're asking for the approval of this resolution.
May I have a motion?
Caius moved.
Alan seconds.
Strathman seconds. Is there any discussion? Ms. Warnick?
Madam
Ms.
Chair-
Walnick?
I would, oh, sorry. I would just note that the funding for these gauges come from the Grand Victoria Riverboat Committee, and we certainly appreciate with the reduction in funding that these gauges were fully funded because it is the best source of information that we have out there on what's going on in our river system.
And I have a little comment. My app that I use for kayaking is from the USGS. So thank you for helping me go kayaking. Please, any other discussion? Please call the roll.
Madam Chairman, this is
Yes,
Alan.
Yes, Miss Allen.
I just wanted to follow up on Jody's comment just now about the funding. I appreciate that Madam Chairman is working with Chairman Caius of the Riverboat Committee. There are some things that come through the Riverboat Committee that I think should always be a high priority, considering that the riverboat money is tends to the 3 E's. And this is so obviously an important environmental part of our study and our data collection. And I just think it's real important for the committee to be able to prioritize some of our environmental needs. There's always a big push for that money, and the money keeps dwindling unless they let people start smoking again. So as the money dwindles, there are some things that I think we need to keep at the top of our list, and these environmental matters are a couple of them. So I appreciate that Chairman Caius is working to try and figure ways that maybe some of the projects that go through Riverboat should be funded in the general fund, and so that money is freed up to be available for projects like these that are so environmentally sensitive. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Any other comments, questions? Please call the roll.
Allen,
Alan, I.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Wallace,
Wallace, yes.
Wojnicki,
Yes.
Bates.
Bates, yes.
Passes.
Thank you. So the only new business that we have to discuss is the change of Engineering and Environmental Committee meeting time. This was brought up by Mr. Ford because we've had some very long meetings, and he had to cancel his last meeting. But I have talked to a few of you already, and our committee seems to want to stay at 9 o'clock. So this would involve, we would move to 10, but a couple of our committee members have said that they need to stay at 9 o'clock. I will promise Mr. Ford to not have our meetings run over too much. And so that's my discussion. Please add to that however you'd like. Mr. Caius?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms.
I think we were going over time because we had such an important issue to discuss, which were the solar panels, but now we've crossed that bridge, and I think we'll be back on schedule. So I vote for 9 o'clock.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Ms. Strathman, Mr. Caius?
I agree. I think 9 o'clock. And for the same reasons, I think that when we do run into, I think we need to be aware if we have things that are coming up that we anticipate might be, and this kind of took me by surprise that it was as long as it was, but also when we have something like this, plan ahead and schedule our regularly scheduled reports on things to not take up time and address immediate things that are required.
Yeah, definitely. We can do better in planning our agendas when we know we're going to have something long. Okay, so I will pass along the word to Mr. Ford that we would like to stay at 9 o'clock, but we promise to be shorter.
No promises, but
It's a preliminary draft.
hard as I can.
We will.
We'll muzzle the committee.
Okay, any other discussion? We don't have to vote on that, I don't think. May I have a motion to place the reports on file?
Molina moves.
Molina?
Caius,
Wallace, second.
Wallace, seconds. Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Roll, please.
Allen,
Alan, aye.
Pius,
Gaius, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Wallace,
Yes.
Wojnicki,
Yes.
Bates.
Yes,
Thank you.
I don't believe there's any reason for executive session today. And may I have a motion? Are we ready to adjourn? May I have a motion to adjourn?
Gaius moves to adjourn.
Caius
Second
moves.
that.
Wojnicki seconds.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Voice vote? Aye. Thank you, everyone.